I want to welcome everyone here today. My name is Sean McConnell, and I oversee the professional education here at the Georgia Tech Supply Chain and Logistics Institute. A few points before we begin. First, at the back half of this webinar, we're going to have a question and answer time with our instructor, Chuck. Instead of trying to remember your questions or jotting it down and hope you remember, there is a Q&A function at the bottom. Go ahead and type those questions in as you think about them. The second point, as you can see on the screen, this next session of our lean warehousing course is on 10/21. The last day to register for that course is 10/14. And if at any point you have a question or you want to have a conversation with us at SCL, feel free to email us at course@scl.gatech.edu. I'll send all this information at the back end, but I do wanted to put that out front. And without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce the instructor of our Lean Warehouse course, Chuck Emery. With over 35 years of experience in the field, Chuck is a true expert in training and development, organizational development, and supply chain management. Chuck's impressive career includes 16 years at Toyota, where he played a pivotal role in revolutionizing the service parts logistics system. His work there laid the foundation for lean supply chain practices that are still influencing the industry today. As the founder of LeanQuest, Chuck has consulted for major corporations like Toro, Caterpillar, and the U.S. Department of Defense, helping them optimize their operations and implementing cutting-edge supply chain solutions. Moreover, with a bachelor's degree from Carnegie Mellon and an MBA from Pepperdine, Chuck brings a unique blend of academic knowledge with hands-on experience to his work. So please join me in welcoming Chuck as he gives us his insights on lean warehousing.
Excellent. Thank you, Sean. The other person will be co-facilitating with me as we do this is Louis Quiones. He also has a very similar background, 30 years of experience, lots of time with Toyota, and he's from the operations side. He's lived many of those different levels of operations. He's actually one of the storage experts trained in the lean storage techniques from Japan. And he's been in the consulting industry for 16 years with many of those same clients there. So he's also brings a lot of experience. So between the two of us, we'll make sure you have a good experience through this training activity, this course. With that, I'd like to kind of give you just a quick overview of the course. This course is really designed for anyone who wants to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of their warehouse operations. So it's going to focus on applying lean principles and lean techniques inside of a warehouse. So by applying those lean methods, we're going to be able to improve your labor utilization, storage density, customer responsiveness, quality, safety, all those things, those metrics that any warehouse operation works with. So one of the big differences here is we're not manufacturing people that are going to come and speak to you from a manufacturing point of view and have you figure out how to do it from a warehouse point of view. We're box kickers at heart, and we've been doing it for many years that way. So we actually know what it means to implement lean inside of a supply chain and inside of a warehouse particularly. So if you've got lean manufacturing but have struggled to implement lean in your supply chain, this is the kind of class that's for you. If you've got issues with storage density, if you're not using storage density to your advantage to improve your productivity and improve the operations, this is the kind of class that can help you with that. If your management team doesn't properly allocate resources and know how to adjust resources throughout the shift as the day goes along and control that labor cost, that's the kind of stuff we'll cover in this class. So if you're coming from a warehouse operation, you have those kind of problems, this is the course for you. Some of the topics we'll be covering in the course. First of all, we'll start with an overview of lean. It's more of an advanced class, but we'll make sure we cover give you a refresher on the overview of lean values and principles and capabilities. We'll introduce the concepts of a lean supply chain, specifically focusing on lean warehousing for the course, but we want to make sure it sets within the overall framework of a lean environment. Then the first day, we'll spend a lot of time on lean storage techniques. There's 7 lean storage techniques that we'll take you through the details of. We'll take you through the implementation steps of those. And then we'll have specific detailed exercises around location slotting and sizing. and velocity matrix. So how to create the velocity storage within your operations. So we'll spend a lot of time on those lean storage techniques. If you worked in a warehouse operation, you know for sure that the storage is critical to having a good operation. It's one of probably the most overlooked piece of warehousing is how well we store our material. So it's the end of the inbound value stream and it's the start of the outbound value stream. How well you store material directly relates to how effectively you can be in your operation. So we'll spend a good portion of the day on that. Then we'll end day one with what we call knowing your business. So what are those key warehouse data required to allow us to create a data-driven warehouse environment? What's the key data we need to be able to manage our operations successfully? And this leads into a lot of the activities which we get to in day two, which is creating a just-in-time operation. So all of the second day will be around how do we create a just-in-time operation in a warehouse environment? Everybody's seen the examples of how we do it in an assembly line or a production environment where you have machines that running at given paces and you link those all together. What's that look like in a warehouse environment where every order is different, every pick cycle is different, every the quantities you pick, the product you pick for every order is different. How do you create that same environment in a warehouse? So we'll take you through that. We'll start with the ideas of standardized work and synchronized operations. Then we'll get into workload planning and workforce allocation. And finally, we'll get into those progress control boards, that visual management you need to maintain and sustain that over the course of the operation. In that, we'll do three main exercises. We'll have an exercise around operations diagram, exercise around workload planning, and then the progress control exercises. And then that's a pretty full day. We'll wrap it up with a summary and the quizzes and all the stuff we need to kind of wrap up the day as it goes through. So some of the logistics of it, it's a live attendance web conference. The live pieces will be Monday, the 21st from 8 to 5. And then Tuesday through Thursday, we'll have a number of self-study activities around what we learned in the around storage and what we need to prepare for some of the knowing your business elements that'll prepare us for the Friday session, which is around the just-in-time operations. So Friday we come back together and another live attendance web conference. So we'll come back together at that point. We'll review a lot of the work you've worked on Tuesday through Thursday. So we'll share what we learned from each other. We'll be able to go through that, plus the examples we have from the training. So we'll build on those pieces as we go. So that'll be 2 live days, Monday and Friday, and then about 8 hours or so, 6 to 8 hours, depending on your availability of data in your organization, work on Tuesday to Thursday to sort of get ready for those other pieces. So again, here's just a quick look at the days. Monday, live attendance. We'll focus on overview, lean supply chains, and lean storage. I just provided some of the details of what it's going to look like there for you to see the implementation steps as we go through it there. And then Friday, again, live web conference, again, focusing on the just-in-time operations and how we put those into practice in a warehouse environment. As you can see there, we're going to see a combination of instructor data and student data. So bringing stuff in from your self-studies and be able to share from the people within the group and the course so you can each learn from each other as well. So with that, any questions people have, anything that we can do, any Q&A we have? I saw a couple comments pop up there. Is there anything we have in there, Sean, we should ask?
Yeah, Chuck, one of the questions that was asked are there any prerequisites or prior knowledge that is required to get the most out of this course?
Yeah, certainly if you have some background in lean, it would be helpful. Like I said, we will do an overview up front, but if you have any kind of lean background, that's probably the most important thing, is some understanding of the lean principles and capabilities and values that lay at the foundation of everything we're working on.
All right, fantastic. And what kind of support or resources would be available to participants during those self-directed days?
Yeah, we will certainly be available with email times. Tuesday, we will be able to make some, if we needed to, we could make some office times available, but we'll definitely be available spontaneous there to react to stuff back and forth with emails and be able to support you.
All right, fantastic. Are there any tools or technologies that are required outside of obviously the computer and Zoom that would be helpful in this course?
Not really required. When you do your self-study, access to some of your company's data to be able to pull some stuff will definitely be an element that'll make that much more useful for you. So being able to get to some sales data and volumes and that kind of stuff for your part population would definitely be of value to you.
Fantastic. And then we have another great question. Could you give more detail about warehousing activities such as slotting, picking, checking, packing, and dispatch, in which data can be used to improve the efficiencies of the task?
Yeah, so that's exactly what the first day covers, the data we use for slotting and sizing of locations. So we'll take a look at a combination of your part sizing information and your sales velocity for the parts. So we'll take you through how to do that. Now, we understand that you may not have all that available to you, so we have the data that we drive through the course is a teaching aid. And then one of the exercises that we have you do in your self-study is actually a velocity exercise. That's one you can typically do without as rigorous data as you need for a sizing and slotting exercise. So it gives you a very good way to look at velocity and to do velocity analysis of your operation. From that, you can then do things like heat maps and some other things that really give you some good insights into what your operation, your storage health is as we start off. Um, Picking and those pieces, how you synchronize it, that's the other knowing your business data that we'll ask for as you get into the self-study to collect that so you can run the exercises when we do that on your on the second day.
And Chuck, how applicable is the course to distribution centers?
It is 100%. I mean, it is for all types of distribution centers. Some people call them fulfillment centers, distribution centers, warehouses, cross docks. Um, Typically, cross dock not quite as much as the other ones, but for sure, even cross docks, you need to be able to synchronize your operations. So they may not store as much, but certainly would apply to that.
And then a follow-up to that question then is, are you proposing different technologies for improvements? I guess between.
Technologies as in automation technologies. Um, Not so much. I mean, you certainly can do that. In Lean, we very much believe that you shouldn't automate anything you don't fully understand. And one of the biggest mistakes I see people make is they jump to automation before they truly understand and synchronize the way their operations work. So this course is really building mostly around the fundamentals of how we truly know and operate our business. Once you have that established, then you can move to automation and some of the different technologies.
Chuck, how do you foresee this course preparing participants in implementing lean warehousing in their own facilities?
Yeah, so this is the sort of the fundamental class of the that covers all those fundamental pieces you need to really implement lean warehousing. As I said, starts with storage and just in time. Those are two of the biggest pieces. The piece that's not covered in this course, which I think is part of establishing that culture, is that idea of continuous improvement and problem solving, right? Which is a little more generic than just warehousing, but certainly if you have that in your lean background, that would apply as well to establishing that lean culture you need for a successful warehouse operation.
Just as a reminder, this lean warehousing course is a part of our DOAD course, or excuse me, DOAD certificate, and that stands for Distribution Operations Analysis and Design. So it, along with engineering the warehouse and warehouse/distribution center layout and material handling, make up that course. So as there are no more questions, remember that the next session, excuse me, the next session of this course will be launched on October 21st with a registration date of October 14th. If you have additional questions, or if you're anything like me, and the second you hop off this course, you'll have 1,000 questions shoot through your mind, feel free to reach back out to us. Our email address is course@scl.gatech.edu. We'll be happy to discuss anything further, whether or not this class is applicable to you. Some of the questions about potential funding issues, we'll be happy to discuss those then. But I got one more question. What KPIs for dashboards should be in warehousing activities, and do you teach how and which ones should be used?
We do cover that lightly. We don't, it's not a full-on version of that, but we do look at that when in knowing your business, we'll talk about those key pieces, right? So just quickly, it's safety, quality, delivery, cost, morale are the big categories we have for any warehouse operation. So in the knowing your business pieces, we will cover what those are and some of the key data people have on those. So yes, we will.
Another question. How can I save time in performing all the work in my warehousing area with minimum mistakes?
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of stuff we cover in the course, right? Is a lot of it has to do with the way you store the material and the way you pick it, how you set your operations up to give the people the adequate amount of time to do the job correctly, right? With minimal mistakes. And so that overburdening people, because the way we set the work up is often one of the biggest problems in a warehouse environment, right? Hurry up, rush to get things done. And when you overburden people, first thing that goes is quality, second thing is safety, third thing is sanity. So if you have frustrated workforce, right, because you're overburdening them all the time and you get poor quality and you get poor safety, it often has to do with the way you set the work up as a leadership team. So we cover how to set that up correctly so that you don't run into that situation in your warehouse.
All right. Well, thank everyone for your time today. Thank you, Chuck, for your time. And we look forward to having you in the course.
Thank you.
Thank you.